The map has started, so let's jump right into it. Polar Night, map number 1 in the best of 5 here at the second quarterfinal at the ASUS ROG 2014 in Helsinki. And starting to the bottom of the map, we have for Mousesports in blue, Deer, the Protoss player here. Let's see what he can do against his opponent. A strong Protoss to face, had an incredible run yesterday in the first and second group stage. He's going up against another Korean player, starting to the top of the map. The Terran spawning in red. It is Apocalypse for IVD Gaming.
Sometimes we throw these terms around, which maybe the people who aren't very deeply into esports or, well, electronic sports may not know. Deer, a KESPA player, what does that mean? KESPA, the Korean Esports Association. And this is an organization that is at the very birth of esports, really, where they developed professional StarCraft 2 gaming in Korea and has since then spread over the world, as well as to other games which are very popular worldwide as well, such as League of Legends and so forth. Now, Deer, a KESPA player, what does it mean? It means he's in a very tight regime of practice. And he's got a very strong support system of coaches, you know, mental coach, strategical coach, and teammates and practice partners. Some players in these houses, special barracks-like training houses where they do practice together for StarCraft 2, some of these players, they're really there just as designated practice partners. And what Deer is missing when he's playing in an overseas tournament is that immediate communication that usually adds a lot of value to their performances when they're playing domestically in Seoul, South Korea. What I'm wondering here really is, usually they will get a lot of advice about their opponent that they're playing against, planning out their strategies to work best in conjunction with how the opponent is playing. Now, does Deer know about how Apocalypse often plays out his games? Did he study the games from yesterday? Did he get advice from overseas from his Korean buddies?
I'm pretty sure that he had a really good look at what exactly Apocalypse did yesterday. And just in general, Deer is an absolutely incredible PvT expert. He has played 60 maps in Protoss versus Terran offline, and he won 43 of them. That leaves him with a 71% win ratio, winning against opponents like Teja, Maru, the player that he defeated several times already. Teja also one of the victims that he faced yesterday, but even before that at BlizzCon, he was able to take him down. So Deer is just so good at this matchup that I don't really think he's going to be worried about this particular opponent here. But Apocalypse, as we've already been saying, he might not have the most impressive record up to the start of the tournament yesterday, but just what he did in the second group stage here at the ASUS ROG was already pretty incredible. And he starts things off here with a double barracks, and he wants to be super aggressive. Apocalypse right from the start, trying to start things off with a bang, sending SCVs across the map, already starting here with a bunker right at the front, and Deer is under a lot of pressure at this point already.
Something we haven't seen from him yet. Very interesting beginning there. Immediately, I think Deer knows what's going on. There can be no way that Marines are so comfortably pressing forward with just one barracks.
But it's already so late because that bunker is up, and the bunker was something that he never really saw. He didn't get a really good look at this. So suddenly his expansion is under so much pressure. There are 2 SCVs for the repair. There are 4 Marines already. Nice snipe here on the probe, making sure that there's no way for Deer to get a pylon anywhere outside of his own main base, not even scouting information. And back at home, we have Apocalypse following things up with a 3rd barracks and also a command center here. So much pressure coming out of the Terran player here against, of course, Protoss favorite, who had to cancel his Nexus.
Cancelled his Nexus, did start 2 gateways in the meantime, and is continuing to queue up Stalkers. Chrono boosting out the Cybercore, and as you said, that probe got sniped by Apocalypse. So good job, because Deer was trying to tank the damage with his Stalker and slip the probe by, and that would help him a lot to launch some kind of counter-offensive. As it stands, it looks like Deer cannot do some kind of intellectual response, such as, oh yeah, now I see that there is a weakness and I'm going to counter-attack and win the game outright, because you don't have enough defenses. He doesn't say, I'm going to attack right away to a robotics facility and try to make a war prism and do something. No, he's going to play this in the most stable way with the least possible adjustment. Make a lot of Stalkers, try to break out, and try to just get an expansion anyway.
Nice micro so far.
Yeah, nice micro by Apocalypse. Takes out 2 Stalkers already and is chasing down a 3rd.
Yeah, I have to say that Dia did actually a lot of damage with the initial Stalkers, but now losing 2 of them already. He takes on a lot of Marines on the other hand. And just looking at the resources lost, they are both on eye level with 500 so far going down for both sides. But it's just this lack of an expansion for Dia that gives him such a huge problem to deal with. Salvage on the bunker by Apocalypse, and he's already on 2 bases. He's going into the +1 attack upgrade. He has all those extra barracks back at home. And if you just look at his harvester count, he's really already starting to pull a little bit ahead now that he has the double SCV production. Still lagging a tiny little bit behind with 25 to 31, but a very strong position in the game. Whereas we have our French Chancellor, Levely, is lagging out a little bit.
He was lagging in the first games too. I think he should try not to alt-tap. Deer is in a pretty bad position. For Apocalypse, that was great. A great way to start the first map with a big advantage. And to be honest, if he plays this out smart and comfortably, and he is, because he's scanning, and that is smart, he sees the tech, he should be in a really great position in this game.
And what I really find funny is that Apocalypse already has a bunker in his own main base on the high ground.
That's like way too early, but like, okay, maybe he thought the Twilight Council was thrown up very, very early indeed, and then it makes sense. As it stands right now, it just kind of zones out the mothership core.
Yeah. It's really funny that he goes for that immediately, and as you already said, Apocalypse is ahead, but he needs to maintain this advantage. Here comes immediately a time warp, trying to slow down those Marines a little bit. Dia is moving in, still on 1 base. He's building that second next, but he's trying to break through the defense of Apocalypse to take down this natural, and he cannot simply accomplish this goal just because there is so much defense for Apocalypse already. He's really playing this as safe as he possibly can.
Yeah, it seemed like Deer wasn't quite sure what he wanted to go for. Time warp or force field the Marines? Attack the bunker or the SCVs or the Marines? Did a little bit of all. The good thing for him is he didn't lose too much and he killed a bunch of SCVs, but not quite as much damage maybe as he would like. And yet, in the midst of all this, he has pulled ahead in SCVs. But that's more a testament to Apocalypse forgetting SCV production again in the heat of things, just like we saw yesterday. And again, a very late factory. But of course, in this case, it's because he had delayed gas and expo.
One of the things that we do see now for Dia is a Dark Shrine, in addition to the Blink upgrade that he's researching now. But we have Apocalypse playing it so safe. It's actually really incredible. He's thinking, he's looking at the game. He's like, yes, I'm in a very good spot. I have the expansion up earlier, and I can really take an advantage here. Dia, as you already said, is closing that gap already a little bit. But Apocalypse is really thinking about what could kill me now. He already has that bunker in the main base that will help him against Blink Stalkers. At the same time, he thinks, all right, if you have actually a Templar Archive already, or not a Templar Archive, but a Twilight Council, you might go into Dark Shrine instead. And that one missile turret at the front is already a testimony to that.
Yeah, still I'm wondering a little bit if maybe he's playing it a bit too safe. With so many barracks, he's got like 4 now, and such a delayed factory. He's giving away initiative in this game, and initiative is map control and aggression. Very important here. Deer is starting to throw up pylons everywhere, and Apocalypse is not doing the kind of due diligence we see more and more from these top-level Terrans, where they send Marines all over the maps as if there were so many observers and SCV scouts.
The very passive play that you've been mentioning is definitely something that allowed Dia to get back into the game. If you think about how it started with him having to cancel his own Nexus, he's right now on eye level with the income, and his tech is actually not behind, not at all. He's already on the way to get the Templar Archive. He has Blink coming up, he has a War Prism on the map, or will in a few seconds, and we just now have Stim completed for Apocalypse. So Apocalypse is once again moving across the map, but nice force fields here, trapping the Bio Army, and there's that Photonova charge immediately. Maybe Dia a bit of a little bit more than he wanted, but no, he's taking down all of the Bio units, and suddenly he's the one who once again has a commanding lead in the game.
Deer finishes his meals. He bits off exactly as much as he could chew, and that was a great job there by him. He was very patient with the way he used his zealots and force fields, and made sure to sucker in Apocalypse's army for the most part, and managed to kill everything off with that photon overcharge as well. So now the initiative is firmly in Deer's court, and he's showing what it's like to be a champion-winning tournament, a Code S level champion. Here is Apocalypse is losing whatever advantage he had.
Apocalypse with the third base now that he's building outside of his natural. He's not going to fly command center over there. He's building it right at the mineral line, and that's something that Deer didn't identify yet, or he would have immediately started to attack it.
Yeah.
But he still has Storm nearly completed. He's on his way to get the charge upgrade, which will create a lot of space in the fights to come. So for now, the Protoss player really starting to call the shots in the game. A great tech for him, and Apocalypse still trying to catch up a little bit. He's now in a position where he's about to complete his own combat shield that will give his Marines the health boost that they need. The medivacs are out there, so he's in a really good tech level. And as long as Deer doesn't see that third base, he is falling behind again just a tiny little bit. He really needs to identify that there is already a third in the game for his opponent.
Slightly humorous that the pylon in the front of Apocalypse's natural wasn't scouted yet, despite movement to the left and the right all the time. In the meantime now, Deer tries to make a comeback here economically, coming in with the War Prism and a High Templar for Storm, which he's going to use right now.
And he's also active with the DT at that third base I was talking about a little bit earlier. Already a lot of harvesters taken down, 12 in total by Deer in the main base of Apocalypse. Another round of warp-ins by the Protoss player. And the Terran is trying to move in on the natural of his opponent. The Mousebots player defending as well as he can. Another photon overcharge might be dropped in a second. That's the case right now. Storm's going down, and those are really incredible. We even have DTs trying to defend here. There is no detection, no scan, no nothing. And Apocalypse is in a lot of trouble suddenly.
That moment where you look back at your game and you realize DTs were part of the army that you were fighting and you didn't identify it. It's a heart crushing moment, as those two DTs killed a lot of army and Apocalypse didn't recognize and scan for it. And lost a large part, actually lost all of his marauding army there in Deer's base.
It's just a loss of harvesters here in general. He's down to 49 SCVs. He lost 25 workers already. And now that Deer is trying to take down that third base, he's even going to lose more mining time. Pulling the SCVs away, charging in with those Marines once more, but another stim. And he can't really make up for all the health that he's losing because of the stim use, since he only has a few medevacs left, 5 in total, and 3 of them at the bottom left of the map, just hanging out there and having a nice day.
Yeah, he just noticed about them. They were having a nice day, but they're being called back to duty, apparently away without leave. And now Deer is assembling his army and starting to come in for the crushing blow. The final blow to finish out this first map in his favor. Deer pushing into the natural, force field behind, and will crush this army decisively.
Takes down the medivacs, and here come the SCVs of the middle line. Always a bad sign in this situation. Apocalypse down to 55 supply against 120, and the Terran plays losing everything at his disposal. He doesn't have anything left here, only 34 supply in total, 23 army supply against 50. Calls the GG, and Mousebots Deer takes game number 1 in the best of 5 series here on Polar Night.